Radio Taiwan International hosts events for new immigrants from Thailand to celebrate Mother's Day. A Malaysian man passed back the love he has received from Tzu Chi after a traffic accident. Welcome to Thai Headlines. I'm Margaret Lin. Thank you for joining us. August 12th marks Mother's Day in Thailand. A radio station in Taiwan held a gathering both for the new immigrants from Thailand and their children. During this gathering, the parents were deeply moved upon seeing the videos prepared by their children.
The mother hugs her daughter very tightly. The mother, who married a Taiwanese man and has lived in Taiwan for 30 years, cannot hold back her tears.
My daughter suddenly showed up. I didn't expect it. I didn't know where she came from, so I was very moved.
It's a way to show my love to her because when I said I love you to her, she didn't seem to have any reaction, so I decided to surprise her. It really touched her.
August 12th marks Mother's Day in Thailand. A radio station in Taiwan hosts a gathering with the listeners. There are also performances of traditional dances and musical instruments. It brings joy to the attendees. Some children also prepare videos expressing their best wishes. The attendees use their phones to record them because they don't want to miss what their children say.
I
want to say thank you to these foreign workers on behalf of Taiwan. They are on this island, working and living together with us in this society. So if we have any capability, we want to make these foreigners live more comfortably.
To support their families, many foreigners must separate their families to come to Taiwan to work. The organizer hopes to give some comfort to these foreign workers and new immigrants.
In Thailand, the Changlong Tzu Chi village in Chiang Mai was built in 1995 to help the refugees in northern Thailand. Since then, Tzu Chi's love for the needy continues. This time, some big brothers and sisters from Taiwan also joined the volunteers who interact with them, providing them love and warmth. Changlong Tzu Chi village was built by Tzu Chi in 1995 to help the refugees in northern Thailand. A group of Tzu Chins came to organize activities for local elementary school students. The fun and games drew in the children's participation.
The big sisters brought some lively activities to the class, allowing students to learn in a different way. I saw the students feel very happy to learn. Thank you, I am very grateful.
We should not take everyone's desire to learn for granted. Besides, we should also pass down Chinese culture. When I go back to teach, I will share it with my students. Being able to learn, we should feel blessed and not take it for granted. Learning can make our lives become more different.
Children are the hope of the future. Huang Yachun, who has lived in Thailand for 27 years, helps with translation in the class.
After all, the school here is relatively remote, so they do not have enough resources. In addition to bringing some knowledge here, we also brought Tzu Chi's humanistic culture. This will let the children know that there are not only uncles and aunties in Tzu Chi, but there are also big brothers and sisters.
Some students felt very happy after their participation in the camp, and they hope to have our contact information. But I think instead of letting them remember us individually, we'd rather let them remember what we have taught them. Since the volunteers could change each visit, it's better if we can plant a seed of love in their hearts, then the seed will grow and sprout someday. 大福就大，幸福祝福福气。
可以念书，有没有福气？
有的。
那有手有脚可以做好事，有没有福气？
Tzu Chi volunteers interact with the children with sincerity, hoping to provide them love and warmth. When Taiwanese Tzu Chins go on a cultural exchange trip to Thailand, they also head to a military school to hold an aid distribution for the orphans at the school. Let's take a look.
希望可以借由这次老兵的关怀，然后把
自己曾经得到的爱，再一次的化作大爱，让这个爱可以延续下去。
Singing an old Chinese song for the veterans, Tzu Chi from Taiwan, is in Thailand's northern region Bangmai Nongbua on a care visit.
开始可能会不想要让我们替他洗脚。
In the beginning, the grandfather didn't let us wash his feet, but after talking him into it by being sweet to him, he was open to our request and let us wash his feet.
Having the youth around, the veterans are experiencing heaven on earth.
我们的付出。
When we are giving them our services, I believe it leaves a lasting mark in their hearts. This is why they want to open their doors and welcome us. When we leave, there are tears in their eyes saying goodbye.
Besides caring for veterans, the Tzu Chis from Taiwan also visits a military school and hosted an aid distribution for impoverished children. The blankets made from plastic bottles really impressed the school.
The principal and the students were amazed. The teachers also liked it and asked us a lot of questions, asking about how our blankets are made.
They are mostly children from the mountain. Some are orphans, some are here because their parents can't afford to take care of them. There aren't many people caring for them, so I thought it would be good to visit them.
As these children live in the mountains away from the city, they don't come into contact with people as much. Thus, Tzu Chis use their passion to melt away the unfamiliarity.
It's a military school, so they are very strict in disciplining the students. So when the Tzu Chis began interacting with them, the students wouldn't dance until the teachers gave permission. After, they had a great time jumping around, doing sign language and moving about.
Tzu Chis from Taiwan use their love to warm the orphans and veterans of northern Thailand, fueling them with positive energy.
During the summer break, students of Tzu Chi Senior High School affiliated with Tzu Chi University traveled to Malaysia for international exchange. They specially visited a local nursing home to care for the seniors. Here's more.
Sing familiar old Chinese songs and accompanying the elderly. Students of Tzu Chi Senior High School affiliated with Tzu Chi University and a local high school in Malaysia came to nursing home to serve as their grandchildren for a day.
Seeing them makes me think of my own grandmother because my grandmother normally shares with us her stories at home. We feel very happy having the chance to listen to their stories.
Listening to life story of the elderly, the students have also learned to reflect on themselves. This has become an important lesson in life education.
Children learn together to understand the life issues such as sickness and death. This profound experience helps cultivate their compassion.
Through this trip to Malaysia for international exchanges, the students have experienced not only a different culture, but more so in the happiness of giving.
In Kedah, Malaysia, 28-year-old Azam injured his brain due to a car accident 2 years ago. His father quit his job in order to take care of him, but this caused financial problems to his family. Fortunately, Tzu Chi provided them with monetary aid. Now Azam is able to make money for his family, and he also gives donations to Back Society.
Kerja.
Kenapa?
Kerja apa? Duk,
Kerja nak buat apa?
Nak bagi duit ke abah.
Kenapa nak bagi duit?
Dia yang duk belah. Terima kasih.
Speaking out his long-awaited wish, 28-year-old Azam thanks his family for not giving up taking care of him after he had a traffic accident.
On the day of the traffic accident, it was not until in the afternoon did we know he had a traffic accident. When we arrived at the hospital, he was in the ICU. He was there for 8 days. 3 months later, he regained consciousness.
After having a traffic accident 2 years ago, Azam had a narrow escape from death. In order to take care of him, Azam's father decided to quit his job. However, this became a burden on the family. Thankfully, Tzu Chi lent a helping hand.
Back then, many friends provided some help for us. Some of them gave us money, while some offered adult diapers and even a wheelchair. Tzu Chi provided living expenses for my family.
Tzu Chi helps with some expenses in his life. The most important thing is the Azam work very hard, learning to be self-reliant and not become a burden on his family. We are deeply moved by this.
Although Azam still has symptoms from his brain injuries, he works very hard to make his everyday meaningful.
Now he can do some simple work, such as doing the dishes, putting away bowls, plates, tables, and chairs. The doctor said my husband's brain has been damaged and is unable to recover like normal people. We can only teach him to take care of himself, but it will take a long time.
Azam's condition has gradually improved. Now his family no longer worry about him, and they take actions to pay back the love they have received.
We put coins in the bamboo coin bank because we want to give back to society and help more people in need.
In China's Liancheng, there are a few care recipients families that Tzu Chi volunteers from Fujian pay regular visits to. Among them is an elderly couple that lives on their own while their children are away from home. Meanwhile, the volunteers also took this chance to visit Ma Faxian once more to see his family.
Volunteers are taking the earliest train from Xiamen to Liancheng. The lotus flower pond is such a beautiful decoration of this alley. As the volunteers turn the corner to pay a visit to their care recipients.
You have such a beautiful smile today.
87-year-old Ma Faxian takes care of her 2 children who are severely disabled both mentally and physically. The stress of it has taken a toll on her body. With a child lying on the floor on an empty rice sack for a bed and a wooden stool as the pillow, the volunteers quickly hurries to spread a padding for the child and put on sock covers for the feet. They also make 5-grain powder for the daughter to drink.
They can't help it. We can't bear for them to live this difficult life.
The next household is also suffering. With the fear of the roof tiles falling, how can this couple enjoy their lives? Each corner of the home needs help. Local volunteer Luo Shouling took a day off to help those less fortunate.
The money I didn't earn is not important. What's important is the connection we are able to make with Tzu Chi. Seeing those poorer than I, it makes me want to help them as much as I can.
Helping these disadvantaged as much as possible is the main reason why volunteers travel such long distances.
It is now the 7th lunar month, and the Chinese community in Myanmar also practice the customs of worshipping gods with abundant meat and fish. The new Tzu Chi office in Myanmar is located in the Chinatown, so the volunteers held its opening ceremony combined with the lunar ceremony to educate the public about righteous thoughts.
new Tzu Chi office was very dirty, but the volunteers worked together in cleaning it. When the office is officially opened, the volunteers smile happily, not holding back their joy.
This place is a Tzu Chi office, so it has received much blessing from the master. We hope it can also receive more blessing from the public.
The venue may seem simple, but it is decorated properly. This new Tzu Chi office is in the Chinatown. Many Chinese support Tzu Chi's ideal that they also do not worship with meat offerings.
I was in the seafood business, but after I joined Tzu Chi, I met a lot of good people in there. I'm also grateful to Tzu Chi for teaching me to love.
During the 7th lunar month, I would use a lot of meat and fish to worship my ancestors. But after the ceremony, I understand what using meat to worship is not a true way.
Eating vegetarian meals is good for your health and also our environment too. When we pray with vegetarian meals, it shows our filial piety too.
We learn a lot from holding this ceremony. When we bravely show our work, we will be able to gain a lot of experiences and also many rewards.
By holding this 7th lunar month ceremony, the volunteers are able to pass on the correct religious belief to the public and reduce the killing of animals.
In Myanmar, heavy rains have led to flooding in many provinces. Yangon Tzu Chi volunteers have been assessing damages in Bago. They found that many residents have been trapped at home and the flood water has not receded. The volunteers have also asked the Ministry of Agriculture to help them purchase rice so that they can distribute rice to the affected residents as soon as possible.
It is currently rainy season in Myanmar. Heavy rains have led to floods in several provinces, causing devastations.
Many provinces have been devastated. We chose to come to Bago mainly because we feel attached to the place. At the beginning of this year, we distributed rice seeds to the local farmers, and therefore, we've been thinking about them.
Yangon Tzu Chi volunteers have come to Yan Leiping in Bago to assess the damages. They found that the residents of several townships have been trapped at home because of the floods caused by the overflow of river.
During the floods, it is more convenient for people who have boats. For example, I can carry passengers with the boat and make about $4 a day. People without boats cannot go outside nor make money. During most rainy seasons, the water level is about 1.07 meters. However, this time it is as high as 1.22 meters. Therefore, low-lying areas have been flooded. The residents here are mostly impoverished people who work odd jobs. They face difficulties as they cannot work now.
Besides assessing damages, Tzu Chi volunteers also asked the local government for the residents' roster. In addition, they've asked the Ministry of Agriculture to help them buy rice so they can distribute rice to the affected residents.
When Tzu Chi volunteers distributed rice seeds, the officials from the Ministry of Agriculture were deeply touched. They said they cannot believe the volunteers are helping affected residents again. The officials said that they are very willing to help us.
Tzu Chi volunteers have come here to help our affected residents. We are also very willing to help out. Our Ministry of Agriculture will do everything to help out so that they can distribute the rice to the affected residents as soon as possible.
Giving hope to the flood survivors, Tzu Chi volunteers will be there for the affected residents and help them get through the tough times.
After the 2009 typhoon Morakas devastated Baolai of Liugui district, local Baolai resident Li Wanlin took it upon herself to repair her hometown. She began with companionship for the elderly and children, and then also found jobs for the local mothers and housewives. Here is our report.
Clouds surrounding the mountaintop, this beautiful scenic spot is Liugui district of Kaohsiung. It's been 10 years since Typhoon Morakot devastated this region, but the scars are very prominent here. This warehouse in Liugui's Baolai was turned into the Mango Tree Cultural Shared Space, a project that was headed up by local resident Lin Wanling after Morakot.
Rebuilding our core values is in hopes of coexisting harmoniously with nature and resources. Our people and our skills are here, so we are starting over on this land to learn from one another.
The local community worked together to prepare the day's food ingredients or cook the meals just to welcome the incoming guests.
来，请往这边走。哎，可以坐下来。对，那2棵爽亚就是100年老树，当时就是在这里以物易物。
When developing a place, environmental conservation must be placed in the middle. So when we enter a local tribal village, we spend a lot of time getting to know the people, the culture, their resources, and what's special about the area.
Rebuilding of their lives starts from caring about the elderly to children's education and, of course, how to make a living.
By turning it into a stable community business, you can put the right people in the right place, and I can do more for the local community. But in the same breath, my personal finances won't suffer either.
The housewives of the area are here to teach how to make bread or use some local plants to dye fabric. All of the hands-on activities are not something those in the city can experience.
For the families who live in the city, we enjoy coming here, and by experiencing the local lifestyle, I feel it's beneficial to our children.
The tribal village hosts smaller groups of visitors, so profit is not something that can quickly be seen. But in terms of environmental conservation and local society benefits, it's a great help.
资本的累积是有一个很大的这个帮助。
大家现在所看到的现在这个保护区是88之后重新建的。
Local residents trained to be tour guides, bringing a different passion to the task.
六龟的美实在之前都没有发现。
I've never known how beautiful Liugui was. The passion for my hometown, Liugui, is often brought out when everyone is together.
As a tour guide, we come from all different communities and all walks of life. So besides introducing Liugui and the biodiversity, this job is also very good for the spirit of the community.
After experiencing such a devastating disaster, it is only by respecting the land and living with it in a harmonious manner can we appease the damage that occurred.
At Tzu Chi U.S. headquarters' annual ad distribution in California, the volunteers prepare school supplies and food for the students, as well as cash cards for the parents, allowing them to buy children's uniforms. We will leave you with these images. Thanks for watching.